Hey guys, and welcome back to another championship predictions video, and it is now week 41 in the season. Before I get on to this week's predictions though, I'd like to say a massive congratulations to David Redgrift, who last week scored 24 points and achieved 7 perfect scores in his predictions. Also to the Dugout Football channel, who came away with 22 points and 5 perfect scores. So how does that affect the overall predictions table now? Well, at the top of the table, Shane O'Donnell still remains the leader, but there is somebody new in second place, and that's the Dugout Football channel, who's now moved up to 322 points, pushing myself down to third place, and Rvrs 77 is currently in 4th place. So still a few more weeks to predict before the end of the season. It's all to play for. So let's just get straight into it and predict the scores for week 41. But I'm afraid it is going to be a little bit briefer this evening because I'm not feeling the best and I need to get this video out. So apologies for that. So in game week 41 we have 12 fixtures to predict, and first I've got Sheffield United at home to Bournemouth. Sheffield United, good victory in their last match, and Bournemouth, currently in second position, suffered defeat at the hands of West Bromwich Albion. So in this match, I think the Blades will take all 3 points, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 home victory. Then we've got Blackburn coming up against Blackpool. I think they're going to share the spoils in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Then we've got Bristol City coming up against Peterborough, who are fighting for their lives. They do find themselves at the bottom of the table, 1 win in their last 6. So I fancy Bristol City to get a win in this one, and I'm going to go for 2-1. Then we've got Middlesbrough coming up against Hull. Middlesbrough still designed on those playoff places. They're just 2 points outside the playoff picture. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory to Middlesbrough over Hull. Then we've got Millwall coming up against Barnsley. Barnsley, 1 win in the last 6, but only 2 defeats as well, fighting for their lives as well. But I fancy Millwall to win this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Millwall. Then we've got Nottingham Forest coming up against Birmingham, and Nottingham Forest finally get into the playoff berths, currently in 5th position, and I expect them to take all 3 points in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory. Then we've got Preston coming up against QPR. Queen's Park Rangers dropping like a stone now, 4 defeats on the bounce, and I fancy Preston to gain another win in this match, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 home victory. Then we've got Reading coming up against Cardiff. Cardiff never really seem to do well at the Majestic. I think they'll cancel each other out, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Then we've got Swansea coming up against Derby. Swansea, a couple of very good wins recently against Cardiff and Millwall, so I'm going to go for a home win to Swansea to beat Derby 2-1. Then we've got West Bromwich Albion coming up against Stoke. Tight win this, but I fancy West Brom to take all 3 points, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to West Brom. Then we've got Fulham coming up against Coventry. Fulham, top of the shops. They're a machine, aren't they, at the moment? Some really good players, and it looks like they'll be in the Premier League next season. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for Fulham over Coventry. And the final fixture of this game week sees Huddersfield coming up against Luton. It's 3rd against 4th. Very tight match. Could go either way, but I'm going to go for the Hatters in this one, and I think they'll take all 3 points, and I'm going to go for Huddersfield 1, Luton 2. So that concludes my predictions for week 41 of this championship season. Make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section. Try and rise up that table. It's into the final straight now. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.